The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, welcome everyone. My name is Leela Rhodes and I'll be your moderator today. Thank you so much for joining us here at Netcom Learning, a market leader in promoting lifelong learning, training, and talent development solutions. We are very excited to host today's webinar, Unlock the Essentials of Data Analytics Using Tableau. And presenting today's topic is Deepak Lakhotia. Deepak is a MCT, MCSE, and Power BI specialist, and he has provided BI solutions as well as proof of concept on BI capabilities, working with various clients on-site and off-site. The major part of his responsibility includes ETL solutions and reporting using Power BI for user groups at different levels of each organization. And he helps create Power BI dashboards to track major KPIs and performance of various readiness events like ICA Bootcamp, Microsoft Ready Airlifts, etc. Deepak is not only an SME and Power BI area certified instructor, but also employs all modern social and content sharing methods of staying current so that he can truly help his clients realize ROI on their training investment. He is a pleasure to work with and very helpful beyond all expectations. He's skillful and down to earth with a great understanding of the client's needs and a master's knowledge at his fingertips. Now, please bear in mind that this is just an overview of a very robust topic. We do offer a collection of technical and business courses that can be tailored toward your specific requirements. If you're interested in a further discussion, we can make an appointment with you through our learning consultants at our website at www.netcomlearning.com. Today's session is also being recorded, so you will get free access to that recording in the next 24 hours via email. Netcom Learning helps customers build innovative learning organizations by achieving a smarter workforce, adopting change, and driving growth. And we do this with a broad catalog of offerings, developing customized learning plans, and our global delivery capabilities. Since 1998, we have been empowering organizations with our managed learning services to help them reach optimal performance results and address challenges. And we have 9 practice areas in which we specialize. They encompass people, process, and technology training. And today's presentation is from the data and AI practice area. Netcom Learning offers a comprehensive training portfolio for Tableau courses, and our upcoming classes include various trainings on Tableau visual analytics, desktop fundamentals, and much more. And private training to teams is also available, and those learning plans can be customized to the specific needs of each audience. You can also access a variety of data and AI marketing assets, such as the free 1-hour training, free on-demand training, and blogs by clicking on the available webinar handout. And these offerings can be found with a simple search as well on our website at www.netcomlearning.com. In this webinar, we will gain foundational knowledge on setting up analytics as service architecture and utilizing the Tableau blueprint for navigation, deployment, and rollout, and much more. Now, I just want to give you an overview of the logistics before we do get started today. And to start with, you have the option to adjust your window size to your liking. You can simply hit the escape key and find the zoom button on the top left corner of your GoToWebinar viewer. I want to let you know that everyone has been muted except for the presenters, but you can feel free to submit any questions you may come up with for the presenters in the questions panel, and we will address those at the end of the session today. Also, to get the best out of today's webinar, we've included the slides, courses we've talked about, and marketing assets in the handout section of your GoToWebinar viewer, and you can refer to those to get a better understanding of the topic. Now, we do realize that some of you may have to leave early today, and we wanted to let you know that as you leave the session, you will be presented with a short survey. And we'd like to request for you to take a quick moment to participate in that survey because your feedback really helps us understand what your learning experience has been and to improve our future sessions. And the survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 being outstanding, 1 being needs improvement. Now, without any further wait, I'm going to go ahead and pass the time over to Deepak to present our topic. You should be able to share the screen now.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that, Leela.
Thank
Great.
you.
Could you please confirm if you're able to see my screen?
I am.
All right. Thank you so much for that. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this quick 20 minutes discussion on how could you possibly go about unlocking the essentials of data analytics using Tableau. I am Deepak Lakhotia, and I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, a Tableau trainer, and also specialized in both the areas here. On behalf of Netcom Learning again, I would like to welcome you all. Now, without any further delay, let's get started. As part of our discussion today, we will be talking about 4 key topics here. We'll start off with our discussion on how could you assume or use analytics as a service to create premium product offering using Tableau. And how does all these different analytics options that you have, how do they fit in collectively to really create something that you would want to? Next, how do you set up analytics as a service architecture? And then how do you go about using the enterprise grade security? And finally, we'll be talking about how the Tableau's blueprint looks like and how would it help you to navigate, work with your deployment and rollout. Not a detailed discussion, but really to find out on how does the blueprint look like and how you could go about accessing it so that when you start your journey with Tableau, how how would the blueprint really come in handy for you and help you eventually for in all these different phases of your journey. And towards the end, we'll be having a quick discussions for quick good 5 minutes of, and we'll be able to take any questions that you may have. All right. First, how is the approach to analytics with Tableau? The first point is around how analytics is visual. Visuals really drive your analysis. When you have any feedback that you would want to analyze, you want to make sure that information is available to you in form of visuals, and Tableau does that for you. So as you go about building your analysis, you also get the option to really learn from all of that that's happening on the scene. You do identify that there are opportunities for you to really look into your data, investigate that a little further, and deep dive a little more just to really see what the data is really talking about. Tableau's visual analytics really helps it really easy to ask questions, to get those questions answered in a way that has never been seen before. The whole journey of using the data and how to really put that out really in form of dashboards and so on is really intuitive for users who are even working on it for the first time. And eventually, if even in case if your data really grows in a humongous way, it gets really complicated, all you got to do is just go ahead and ask why something has happened, and Tableau really does that for you behind the scene and provides all those deep dive analytics back to you, where you can now go ahead and consume these analytics in a visual form. Next, analytics is powerful with Tableau. Tableau comes with its rich capabilities for users at all level of technical capabilities, whether you are whether you're somebody who's just going about start the journey with Tableau, or somebody who's really advanced, or somebody who just wants to get some information out there. And if somebody's looking for some advanced analytics to really kind of get a lot more out of that data, Tableau can help you with each of these different areas that you are probably. So whether you want something simple, go to metrics to advanced analytics techniques, Tableau provides you with a very good front end where you can really go about exploring your data with all the necessary analytics depth that you may have in mind, if as a data analyst, as a data scientist, or as a data developer. Apart from that, let's say you are a data analyst or a data scientist, you could go about using all these sophisticated calculation that the engine helps you create behind the scene. And also, if you want to integrate your R and Python code on top of it, you can do that. You can use the rapid coherent analysis, the predictive models, all of these different capabilities are available at your disposal, using which you can conduct your complex quantitative analysis, all of that in Tableau. And eventually, once all the analysis is ready for you, you can share those results in form of visuals to better understand your data and even collaborate with your data, because looking at some raw numbers altogether in spreadsheets may not really make a lot of sense for you. So eventually, how does it really come out to be powerful at the end is how it's able to represent all of that data to you in form of visuals. So as I just said, whether you're looking for something very simple to something very advanced, very complicated, want to bring in all these additional systems in place, you can do all of that with Tableau. Next, Tableau is smart. Using Tableau, you can make your analytics discussions, your decisions with all the intuitive and capabilities that it comes with. Tableau is addictive, if I could say that. The instant geocoding means that you can basically automatically create your maps with just a click. You could, if you're working with latitudes and longitudes, you'll see that with just one click there, you will have something created for you in maps, which would allow you to basically analyze your data, all these geo data, in a very good way. Maps with Tableau are fantastic. There are options where you can create suggested tables, you can join different tables so that you can go about preparing your data in a form where it would be served best when you build your visuals on top of it. Show Me is another capability inside of Tableau, which would basically go ahead and give you recommendations for the best visualizations for your data. For example, if you want to track something over time, maybe a line chart would be preferred, and Tableau will help you exactly with that. Or if you're working with your longitudes, latitudes, anything that has to do with any form of geography information, maybe maps are the best choice, and that's what Tableau will help you in that case as well. Apart from that, if you're looking for automatic data role assignments to make sure that your visuals really get rendered faster, they work the best way possible, the user experience is at its best possible way, all of that is achievable with Tableau. The development team in Tableau is working really hard on all the new innovations that is coming through. Now, from suggesting relevant content to supporting the drag and drop, making it really easy for the developers out there to go ahead and drive and run these analytics inside the organization very efficiently using Tableau. Tableau makes use most of the machine learning models, advanced analytics, all of it that sits behind the scene to really put in and bring in all that power to your data like never before. The data discovery as a result of this whole journey is in everyone's hand, whether you are on the consumer's end of the information, whether you're developing it, everyone here is, ev- Tableau helps us all get really smart with our data. Next, Tableau is accessible. And that is something that has been paid really close attention to. So authors are given tools where you can create and publish your dashboards or visualizations and make sure that it is accessible to everyone. You may have audiences which have wide variety of disabilities, whether people with visual impairment, people with hearing impairment, all of those things are something that you can take care of with Tableau. You need to know your audience well, and that is where Tableau also understands this journey. There's detailed documentation available on the forums if you would like to know a little bit about the product documentation on how this Tableau fit into this world and how is it's a very accessible product. All of this documentation is available. There are FAQs, there are blog posts, everything is available so that you can go ahead and read all this accessible content with Tableau directly on the portal. Finally, Tableau really is about how you end up giving a complete analytics platform. It's not just about creating your dashboards, but how you go through the whole journey of bringing in your data from somewhere, cleaning it up, cleansing the data, making it really robust, and eventually a scalable solution. Building your required relationships, building your dashboards, sharing with the end users who can basically go and consume this information. All of that is what makes Tableau a complete analytics platform. It helps smart people get even smarter so that you can stay focused on empowering your end users to really ask interesting questions on top of the data and really be able to analyze that information as quickly as possible. You don't want to hinder the user experience by letting them wait on the information they're really seeking for or having them click too many places. That is where Tableau is a platform that has this valuable functionalities to make sure that everyone in your organization is connected to the analytics that Tableau provides you. There are trusted data that you're working with, and it puts all of that in the center of all the discussions that happens inside your business so that we collectively as organizations and as people who work there could basically be connected to the data and explore all of these limitless analytics capabilities that Tableau has. Next, this is where we will talk about the platform architecture. Tableau comes in two different formats, if you could put it out. One is how do you go about using Tableau as a service, which is a Tableau server, and how do you go about using Tableau online. When we talk about using Tableau as a Tableau server, this is where you could basically, this is just a map on how, just a diagram on how it could really be rendered out, whether you're working with a seven structure altogether, whether you're working with like a 3-line structure. You can have multiple nodes as part of your application servers. You can have data servers sitting in front of it, and then you can have your in-house firewall that sits to kind of like govern all of that data and all of that information that sits inside the server. And then you may have a client requirement where you want to go ahead and read all of this information available on Postgres. So that is how you keep everything secure, keep everything local to your organization, and your data never moves out. Next, is how Tableau Online really works for you. So whether you're working with information that resides in SQL servers, MySQL, whether they resides in XLS files, CSV files, PostgreSQL databases, anywhere, whether they're working on on-premise systems, whether they're available somewhere on your cloud services, you can bring in all of that information available. And again, in order to connect to your on-premise services, you have your central bits clients using which you could basically go ahead and connect to all of the data sources, bring in all of this information, make it available on Tableau Online. Apart from that, all the data requests that goes through from this Tableau Online is made eventually to Redshift and Snowflake when we talk about public clouds. And when we talk about how to use them in a Tableau managed environment is when these requests are actually being placed on PostgreSQL and MySQL behind the scene. This is again just an architecture of how the whole Tableau platform looks like, which helps you really kind of gauge what do they really have and help you understand the product a little better and identify what would be an ideal choice for you. Now, this is where Tableau really comes in with its most powerful weapon. It's about how Tableau is very secure as an offering. Now, there are various sections of various forms of security that we're going to discuss over this and the next slide. First is operational security. Your data resides in these data centers, and all of these data centers are SAS 70 compliant data centers to make sure that your data, your consumers' data, is safeguarded and is safe at all times. For user security, it limits on who can really access the whole Tableau site and the content that has been published to you. It's only after that the site administrators explicitly go ahead and provide you the access is when you'll be able to access any information that resides on the Tableau. Next, when you have a Tableau account, do note that there are certain parameters that you have to pass through in order to access it. First of all, Tableau is HTTPS secured sign-in capability only. So you can only go through a secure channel. Next, there is a provision where you can basically go ahead and set up your account lockout so that after some unsuccessful attempts to log in, the account will automatically get logged out to make sure and again prevent from possible hacks. Next, there is email verification that is available. So in case if you want to verify your account, it's available. Your Tableau account is password protected. So that is where it makes sure that your account is highly secure, and until unless you do not provide the right password, you cannot get them. Finally, multi-factor authentication. And this is something where you want to make sure that there's two-step verification that happens and different authenticated apps that are available. So if you want to make sure that to really re-verify if the user is correct or not, kind of bring in that extra layer of security that is available when you work with Tableau. Next, roles and permissions. What is basically a role? A role is about what are the different permissions that a user has for a specific workbook or a specific dashboard or project or a different data source that they're dealing with to make sure that your user interaction stays right. When I say it stays right, it's about who should access what and whether they are seeing just that or not. There are a wide range of permissions that are available for each asset that resides inside of Tableau. And again, for each of these assets, there are different permission sets where you can view the asset, create new assets, edit an existing asset, modify something, delete, and much more. And again, you can go as granular information as working on a specific workbook and go up high the ladder altogether by giving permissions directly at the project level as well. So and again, you can also go about talking about how you can restrict users to only see the right information, working with row level security and other options that are available. Next, network security. Again, we are continuing our discussion on how secure the Tableau platform is. Network security. All forms of communication that happens between the end user and the Tableau online service is encrypted using SSL. To stay in accordance with the global policies there, it uses TLS 1.2 and higher to make sure that your Tableau online is safe and secure and is up to the standards that is expected out in the market. Next, application security. The Tableau online environment is hosted in a multi-tenant configuration where it makes sure that it provides separation of users' data and metadata across the customers to make sure that everyone is basically a part of the journey at the same time. It's secure. Next, data security. Tableau Online really eliminates the need for you to really go about implementing your own virtual private networks or tunnels in your corporate environments. It uses and has the capability to use the OAuth 2.0 access tokens, using which you can go about working on a lot of dynamic options that you want to work through, there are APIs available to you. So if you want to go ahead and expose this information and consume it in other ways, it supports OAuth 2.0 access tokens as well. You can also implement row level security in Tableau to make sure that the right people have access to the right information. Next, data location. Tableau Online is hosted on AWS and is structured so that you can basically choose which region would you want to host your website, host your site on, where should your data really be stored, to make sure it still kind of stays very close to where your most of your users are, to really take care of the latency that may be encountered. At the same time, you could also be in a situation where to work with different policies that are available. These could be your government policies, these could be different regional policies. For example, if you're working based out of Europe, you want to make sure that you're in accordance with the GDPR policy. So all of that things really come in handy when you know that on the AWS server, you can decide on which region would you want your site to be loaded on, and also the data to reside on. Also, you can migrate from one existing site to from one region to another through the site migration process. The process is available. So if you want to move in from one place to the other, there is documentation, detailed documentation available on the forums and the blogs. So you can read through it in case if there's a requirement where you want to move from one site location to another in the future. Do remember that your site is backed up in the selected region on a regular basis. So you do not really have to worry about maintenance and so on. Tableau does that for you automatically. Finally, is the Tableau blueprint. Sorry about that. Now, what is this Tableau blueprint all about? It is basically a step-by-step guide to really help you become a data-driven organization. Now, whether your organization is new or you are a modern organization who's already started their digital transformation journey, and somebody who's an organization who's already been consuming a lot of analytics in different forms altogether, or maybe an organization that would really want to provide their end users with the self-service analytics options so that you as a user are on the go and you have all those self-service reporting needs and you want to take care of that. Or you are already deployed, you want to basically broaden, deepen, and scale the use of your data that is there. Whether you're working with huge amount of data and you want to go ahead and build this whole journey or bring in that culture of how you want to go ahead and basically get your organization to be more data driven. All of that is achievable using Tableau. And Tableau Blueprint is the step-by-step guide for you to really always kind of like fall back to when you want to go ahead and start either your journey, or with even though you're already part of this wonderful journey with Tableau and you want to kind of learn more about it. So this whole journey really helps you identify what should be analytics strategy, what are the different advocacy and project teams that are there, how do you go about deploying information, the monitoring capabilities, maintenance. These really come again under the agility sector or the agility category of Tableau. For the proficiency, it talks about different forms of education, measurements, what are the analytics best practices. All of that information is also available in the blueprint. There's a large community that sits behind you when you work with Tableau. There is detailed communications that are sent out. You can engage with other users that is available. That there are portals, forums that you can always log into, kind of help your peers and also get your questions answered. And finally, there is great documentation and there's wonderful support available for you. So if you are stuck somewhere or if something is not working as expected, you can always reach out for support and you will get the required support that you need. This brings us to an end to our discussion here, and we'll open up for any questions now.
Thank you
Leela,
so
back to you.
much. Thank you. Yeah, we are going to jump into our question answer session, but before we do that, we are just going to take a quick moment and I'm going to pass the presentation rights over to Mary, our Director of Vendor and Products. She's actually going to introduce some promotions and webinar related courses. Welcome, Mary. It's been a while. We're happy to have you with us.
Hey, Leela. I know. And again, there's so much information that Deepak has shared with us. So while you're logging in your questions, I just want to go through our website. So you're probably asking what's next, after all of these, if Tableau is an area of interest for you all. I would encourage you to look into the course offering on our website, netcomlearning.com. Click on the Tableau vendor link, and this will lead you to our landing page wherein you can look into all of the classes that we are offering for Tableau. Tableau is an authorized Netcom is an authorized learning partner for Tableau. So all of the courses are official from Tableau. Of course, instructors are certified by Tableau, and these are all live instructor led. Right now, we're running virtual training, so you can register wherever you are in the world. So typically, our students take up desktop 1, and then you have desktop 2 and desktop 3. Or if you're an administrator, you're responsible for the architecture, or an analyst, there is certainly a class for you. So as you click on the course information, you can also find the schedules that are available. We also provide you here the course outline, objectives, etc. Now, going back to our website, I just want to before I turn it over to Leela, I just want to show you other ways to purchase training at Netcom. As you can see here, we offer subscription, which we call Netcom Plus, wherein you have uh, for one pricing valid and for 12 months for one learner, you have access to e-learning content as well as live instructor-led courses. And if you look at the courses that are part of the subscription, you have courses for Adobe, project management, Microsoft, AWS, and here's Tableau. So if your company certainly would like to purchase subscription because that is a smart way to go, then certainly you may want to consider Netcom Plus. Another way is via our Learning Passport, wherein if you don't know when you want to send your employee for training, you can purchase the Learning Passport, which is valid for 12 months, wherein you have a choice of using the Learning Savings Passport, wherein you can get very significant price savings, as well as the Learning Voucher Passport. I also invite you to look into other solutions, such as if you're working in the government responsible for sending your folks for training, we also have government solutions for you all, special pricing. And as you can see here, there are various programs that are for various brands like Microsoft, AWS, CompTIA, Cisco. And I encourage you to look into our catalog, see what you need. And we're here. We have learning consultants available to help you come up with a skilling plan, whatever you need. Just certainly the easiest way, email us at webinar@netcomlearning.com. Thanks, Leela.
Thank you so much. As always, it's a pleasure to have you with us, Mary. And thank you so much for guiding us through that information. Now we are going to go ahead and jump into our question and answer session. If you haven't yet, it is not too late to pop your questions into the questions panel. And as we start our question and answer session, we are also going to launch a quick poll that we want to invite you all to participate in. Doing so helps us know how we can better serve you by telling us who might be interested in more information or taking some additional training. And in addition to today's webinar, we have a lot of informative webinars coming up. So please go to www.netcomlearning.com/webinar to register for any of those. One moment, I am going to launch that poll. Oh, nope, somebody beat me to it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into those questions. Let me get them pulled up. Our first question that we have today is, can we allow users without a valid Tableau license to view the dashboard? And if so, how do we do that?
All right, thank you so much for that question, Leela. That's a great question. All right, so there's basically two-part answers to that question. The first part is how could you basically let somebody see some content that you've developed locally and let other users see it even though they do not have a license. So the first way to go about is using Tableau Reader. Tableau Reader is a free to use, fully interactive, free desktop application that you can use to really open and interact with data visualizations built in Tableau and that are shared locally with the users. Do remember that they're not. This is not something that will allow you to view content or access any of it or interact with it when either when they exist on the online version. These are only used to access the local files that are there. The second way to really go about using Tableau for any content that you want to share beyond your organization or with somebody who really doesn't have a license is exposing it on Tableau Public. Tableau Public is a free platform which would allow you to explore, create, and publicly share your data visualizations online. But do remember, I use the word publicly there. It means that anyone and everyone available, whosoever has internet connection, can actually go about viewing that information. And something that you probably want to make sure that you take care of because you may not really want anyone and everyone to be able to see your dashboard. So that is one thing that you really need. But these are two potential ways in which you can do it. Either give them a Tableau reader. They can use Tableau reader. If they have the local files, they can see the information through that, or use Tableau Public.
Thank you. Okay. So, our next question, and once we do get through our questions, I just want to let all of our attendees know that once we do get through our questions, we will wrap up the session. So, don't be shy, get those in. You don't want to hesitate and just not get a chance to ask yours. Our next question is I have users managing different regions for our sales, and I want to make sure that they only see their sales data. How can I achieve this in Tableau? And do you need me to share the screen with you to do that? Or can
No,
you?
that should be no, that should be fine, Leela. First of all, that's a great question. Thank you so much, whosoever actually has that question. Yes, it's possible, and it's possible through the RLS feature in Tableau. RLS stands for row level security. So the row level security in Tableau really helps you restrict the rows of data uh, so that only a certain user can see whatever information you've shared with them in a workbook. Do note that this is different from the regular Tableau permission that we're talking about. And there's several ways in which you can implement row level security in Tableau. For example, you can set the row level security at the data source level or at the workbook level, or you can also set up row level security at the connection level itself by using like a virtual connection with some data policy that you may have. So row level security is all about making sure that only the right set of rows are exposed to a specific user. So that is possible through all these different methods that we just discussed. Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay. So then, what looks to be our last question as of now is so there is Tableau Server and Tableau Online Cloud. How do I decide which one is ideal for my organization?
Perfect. Thank you for that, Leela. And that's probably one of the first few questions that comes through in any course altogether, right? And it's a great question at the same time. You want to make sure that you choose the right one. Now, I could go about talking about it for hours, honestly, but just to kind of narrow it down and kind of at least get you started, uh, there are certain ways in which you can really identify what's the ideal choice for you. Now, when I talk about Tableau Online, you know that your hardware and your systems, everything is going to be maintained by Tableau outside of your firewall. So it's not going to be something that's going to be restricted inside your whole network, but it's going to be available on the Tableau Online platform. So you no longer control the hardware and the systems that are there. Everything is maintained by Tableau. Do note that you can purchase and maintain multiple sites. You can configure users, permissions, all of that with Tableau Online. It also supports like live connections to Amazon Redshift, Google BigQuery. All of that is available with Tableau Online. You can also like set up data refreshes or for your data sets that you publish. Overall, all of that is achievable. You can authenticate your users using the Tableau ID. There are no guest access available. All the users that are accessing your dashboards, anything that's published on Tableau online, any asset, all those users must be authenticated. So you know that okay, that's Tableau is going to take care of all of that for you. You can take care of any custom branding requirement that you may have. For example, if you want to upload your company's logo, all of that is achievable with Tableau Online. Now, when we talk about Tableau Server, in case of Tableau Server, it's completely different to what we discussed with for the Tableau Online. That is, in this case, you will install the software, maintain the systems on your own hardware, which means everything stays inside your company's firewall. You can create and maintain multiple sites at no additional cost. You can also configure your users and permissions, everything there as required. Even with Tableau Server, you can set up your scheduled refreshes for all the different extracts that you would have published or used all together. That's there. It comes in with its own core licensing option, which means that you can have guest access available. So unlike Tableau Online, where there's no guest access, in Tableau Server, you will have guest access available. And even in case of Tableau Server, you can have all your custom branding, all of that is available. So the key differences around how you basically make sure that who's going to take care of the maintenance for your hardware and software, how can you go about purchasing the right form of license, what are the different access mechanisms supported, authentication methods supported, guest access is supported only in case of Tableau Server, not in Tableau Online. So these are few things that you really want to ask yourself before really making a decision of which one to really opt for and which is ideal for your organization. I hope that answered your question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much. And with that, we are through all of our questions today. So we're going to go ahead and wrap up today's session. Once again, I want to remind you all that as you leave the session today, you will be presented with a short survey. We want to request for you to help us out by taking a moment to participate in the survey because your feedback really helps us understand what your learning experience has been. And we are constantly looking at how we can improve our future sessions for you. And the survey answers are measured on a scale of 1 to 5, 5 representing outstanding and 1 representing poor. And in addition to today's webinar, once again, we do have a lot of informative webinars coming up. So please go to www.netcomlearning.com/webinars/ to register for any of those. And we want to thank you all for joining us today. If you do come up with any additional questions, please feel free to send them to us at webinar@netcomlearning.com at any time. We hope that you found today's webinar to be informative, and we look forward to seeing you back here with us very soon. We hope that you found today's webinar to be informative, and please do tell your friends and colleagues about our webinars and other courses. Once again, thank you, everyone, and have a great day.